Welcome to Master Domaining. I'm Gene Pimentel, and in this session, we'll talk about strategically pricing your domains. This is part one of a multi-part series. Pricing domains for sale is one of the most arbitrary things you'll ever do in this business. I recommend you bookmark and come back to this section frequently over the next few months because this is one of the most important lessons that needs to be learned until it's second nature to you. Remember this, there is no such thing as a correct price. There is no such thing as a price that you should use. And there is no such thing as a price that the market expects. Read that last paragraph again and again until it really sinks in. Seriously, it's important that you understand and accept that. The reason for that is every domain name is a unique product in its own right. There are no two domains that have exactly the same qualities. There is no set formula that can determine the value. The amount you can sell it for is mostly based on your ability to research the market and find businesses that could really benefit from the domain name. Now understand this. To most of the world, your domain will have no value. Whoa, what? Yeah, it's true. However, to a tiny handful of people, it will have varying degrees of value. Your job is to find the one who must have or really wants your domain name. That's where the market maxes out. Until you find such potential buyers, your domain is worth exactly what you paid for it. So how the heck are you supposed to put a price on something that has no specific value? This is where common sense, instinct, and experience are all great assets. In the beginning, you won't have the experience, but you can use a little common sense and a gut feel for a guide in pricing your domains once you follow some basic principles. Value is not necessarily there just because a domain looks nice or sounds nice. The key to having a highly marketable domain is there has to be a specific pool of potential buyers that it will serve. Commercial intent is important. Who are the people that need this domain to further their business? This is the question that needs to be answered before knowing whether or not there is any value beyond the registration fee. Most people who enter domaining do it backwards. They register a bunch of domain names that they like, and then they look for places to sell them. That's an almost sure recipe for failure. The correct way to sell domains is to first choose a market where there is great cash flow and where there is decent online competition among the businesses in that industry. Then look for domains to register that would not only appeal to that industry, but also very useful in helping those businesses generate leads and/or sales. Now that's a lot to absorb, I know, but once you learn these principles and it becomes second nature to you, you'll be far ahead of 90% of others trying to sell domains. What you've learned so far is there is no specific way to price a domain. You may register a domain and decide to sell it for $50, or you may decide to sell it for $500 or $2,000. The price you choose depends on the value you see in it and the value a potential buyer sees in it for themselves. If you feel a domain is worth $4,000 but have not researched the market for potential buyers, it's just a pipe dream. Sure, you can list your domain for that price and hope for the best, but that's a wild shot in the dark. The better you become at researching the markets and identifying potential buyers, the better price you'll be able to sell for. Now that being said, you can take the lazy route and price everything for just a couple of $100s and approach potential buyers shotgun style. Somebody's bound to buy it with little effort. But as you gain experience, you'll understand the subtleties and psychology of what make a buyer hungry enough to pay top dollar. And yes, that will be covered in future sessions. For now, the easiest way to determine what you're going to sell your domain for is to do a domain comparison of similar domains to yours that have already sold. Doing this will give you a very general feel for what the market will bear. There are a few websites where you can perform these comps. All you do is enter a few pieces of information and get a list of comparable domains and what they actually sold for. It's similar to what real estate brokers do. They look at all the past sales of similar homes in a specific neighborhood to determine how they should price a new listing. In the next session, I'll walk you through several of these sites and show you how to best perform these comps.